Hey guys, welcome back. Would you like to be able to understand fast English conversations? So when you're watching movies and TV shows, you'd like to understand what those speakers are saying. Maybe if you're watching YouTube videos or you're listening to podcasts, you'd like to understand everything so that you can better understand what those speakers are saying. In this video lesson, I'll be sharing with you 10 tips to help you better understand fast English conversations in English. Now, if this is the first time you're here on my YouTube channel, welcome. My name's Adriana from EnglishTeacherAdriana.com. I help English learners improve their English, boost their confidence to finally speak English confidently. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Now, before we go through these tips, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments below this video, what accents do you struggle to understand in English? Do you struggle to understand American, British, Irish, Scottish, Australian? What accents are you struggling to understand? Now guys, the first tip that I have for you is that I want you to make it a goal to be able to understand fast English conversations. Now I know this may seem like a simple tip, right? But a lot of us really want. We want to be able to do something, but we don't set a clear goal. So what I want you to do is clearly write down your goal. I want to be able to understand maybe the American accent, British accent, Canadian accent. I want to be able to understand all different accents. Write down whatever it is, your goal, on a piece of paper. Now, in my personal experience, and also I've seen the experience in my students in my Fluency Academy, it's so powerful for you to write this goal down, because it's one thing to want it, to wish it in your head, but if you write it down, it becomes a reality. So you really need to do something to improve your ability to understand fast English conversation. Now, you've written down your goal, but I know that you're probably worried, you're scared, because English speakers, they speak fast, right? We use a lot of connected speech, we use a lot of slang, and for you to really be able to stick with all these tips, to be consistent, you need to change your mindset. So instead of saying to yourself, I can't understand English speakers, they speak too fast, it's just so hard, I want you to change the way that you're speaking with yourself. So instead of saying to yourself, I can't understand English speakers, say to yourself, I'd like to do something to be able to understand English speakers. Or I'm not able to catch or understand all the phrases, maybe the slang terms. Instead of saying I can't, say to yourself, I want to be able to understand slang, connected speech, all those phrases. Simply by changing your mindset, you'll be happier, you'll be more motivated, you'll want to do something to be able to understand fast English conversations. Now, this takes us to a third tip. Now, in tip 1 and 2, you need to write down a goal, you need to change your mindset. Let's be realistic, anybody could do this, right? So it's easy to write down, I want to be able to understand fast English conversations. It's easy to talk to yourself and be all positive, but the third tip is the most important tip, and that tip is to actually do the daily work. If you don't do something to improve, you will never be able to understand fast English conversations. Now, I do need to highlight this. You do need to do the work. A lot of you watching at the moment, you may wish, you really want it, but you're not ready to do something. Yes, you do need to change your mindset, you do need to talk positive, and you do also need to do the daily work. I suggest about 10 to 15 minutes a day if you are really dedicated to improving your ability to understand fast English conversation. Now, the fourth tip I actually did give away in the third tip, and I did say only dedicate 15 minutes a day. Now guys, you have a life, right? You have a job, you have a family. I'm sure you don't want to be learning English all day for hours and hours. It's not necessary. If you want to speak English fluently, if you want to be able to understand fast English conversations, 15 minutes a day of effective study is more than enough. Don't overdo it. And in tip 5, we're going to go through exactly what you need to do. I suggest that you start by listening to natural English conversations with a transcript. So find a conversation, find a podcast, find some sort of audio material. It could be a YouTube video with subtitles, but make sure that you have the transcript. So find a video, audio material, something that is interesting to you. This actually leads us to tip 6. It really needs to be interesting to you, to your hobbies, to your interests. Because if you're listening to something that's of no interest to you, you're not going to want to improve your English skills. It's that simple. Look guys, everybody is different, okay? You have different interests to me, I have different interests to you. Think about what you love immersing yourself with in your native language and start doing this in the English language. For example, if you like cooking, look for a cooking podcast in English. People talking about cooking, about recipes, maybe baking cakes, whatever. If you like gardening, search for a gardening podcast. If you like technology, how to edit videos, how to, make a mobile phone, search for these topics in English. Now, again, let's go back to the third tip. The third tip is that you need to do something. So yes, this will be hard because you need to think a little bit about what you're interested in. So what I suggest that you do, okay? Go and get yourself a pen and paper right now and write down your interests. So think of 5 topics you love reading about, you love Googling about, and write them down on that piece of paper. Now, once you've written them down on that piece of paper, search for videos with transcripts, search for audio materials with transcripts, which you can use as part of your daily study routine. Fantastic, so you found some audio materials based on interests that you love. Now, in tip 7, I suggest that you do some dictation exercises. Now, I have actually made a whole video lesson about this dictation. You can check that out in the link just above here. Basically, guys, dictation is when you listen to an audio and you write down everything you hear. Now, remember at the beginning I said only spend 15 minutes a day on this exercise? Why? Because let's be realistic. I have to be honest. This is not the most enjoyable. It's not the funnest exercise to be doing, but it is the most effective, okay? You do this for about 60 to 90 days with an accent that you really struggle to understand. I guarantee that your ability to understand fast English conversations will improve, but if you are consistent and you do the work. So this takes us to tip 8. Listen to that conversation, press pause at 10-second intervals and write down everything you hear. So for example, if you found an audio and it's 1 hour long, you're not going to listen to that whole audio, okay? It's enough for you to have a natural conversation that's half an hour long, and every day you'll probably only be listening to 1 minute. 1 minute of that conversation. So sit down in a quiet spot, listen to 10 seconds, press pause, write down everything you hear. Once you've written down everything you hear, then press play again and write down what you hear next. Now, while completing this dictation exercise, I understand that maybe you will not hear everything. Maybe the first time you go, you won't hear anything. If you only hear one word, write that word down, okay? But if you hear nothing, just skip it and try with the next exercise. The more consistent you do this, you will train your brain to better hear new phrases, listen for that information, process that information a lot faster, and it will get easier. But you do need to keep tip 2 in your mind, so you do need to change your mindset and be positive, because if you are completing dictation exercises and you're just so negative, saying, I can't do this, I can't understand, you're not going to do it. You want to be positive, always focus on what you've written down and keep going. Now, tip 9 is to compare what you've written down to the transcript. Remember previously I suggested that you choose an audio with a transcript. Why? So that you can compare. You can see how much you did understand. So were you able to understand everything? Were you not able to understand anything? Basically, this is a great way to check, to see how well you're able to understand different conversations and if you're improving. Now, don't be too hard on yourself again. Be positive. If you've written something down, it's fantastic, but be consistent. This takes us to tip 10, where you need to be consistent and you need to be positive. Look, guys, you will not be able to understand fast English conversations if you don't do the daily work, if you're not consistent, and if you simply give up. You do need to be positive so that you are motivated, so that you do the work. One day you can't be bothered, okay? Happens to all of us. I can't be bothered doing something every single day. Skip that day, but come back the next day, okay? Don't give up completely. It's okay to have a bad day and not want to do something, but be realistic with yourself. If you find that in 3 days you haven't done anything, you're not consistent, okay? But be positive. Tell yourself that you can understand, that you will do the work, and I guarantee in the next 60, 90 days, you will be able to understand fast English conversations. Now guys, I'd love to hear from you. Remember to tell me in the comments below this video, what are you doing at the moment to be able to understand fast English conversations? Remember, if you like this video lesson and you found it useful, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications, so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Continue learning with me by downloading my free audio guide where I share with you exactly what you need to be doing every single day to drastically improve your confidence speaking in English. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson. Bye for now.